What's up everyone? So today I'm going to be breaking down a trade that I ended up calling live in the Discord, and it ended up giving us a 1-4, and as you can see right here, it just kept on going down and down for the whole entire day basically. But we did end up catching a 1-4, so I'm really happy about that. But just another one of these trade recap videos, so let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. Alright, I deleted everything off the chart, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go into replay mode. We're going to put it back to just about, let's see, we'll just put it back to 850. I'll just mark it how I normally mark it every single day. Alright, so jumping into the market, you can see New York. Now we don't normally hop on till around 9:30. Let's see, 9:30 right here. Okay, so this is just our time. So going into the market on the M5, you can see, now let me go ahead and start with this real quick. Notice how we have a session high up here. Go ahead and mark the session high, and we have a session low right here. And I just want to show you guys real quick, look at the importance and the accuracy in these session highs and lows. We had a session low created right here in New York session, and notice how London session tapped right into that session low, and we got a move from that session low. Look how accurate that was. But I went ahead and marked those, and I also went ahead and marked this session low and that session high, but for the purpose of the video I'm just not going to do that right now. But you can see, came into the market, we seen that we had a bounce from a session low, right? Now from this level right here, we came on the M5, and you can see on the M5 we had a nice solid supply level right there. Now go to the M15, let's just say, and let's go ahead and do this real quick. M15. Now this is at that 9:30 candle right there. Let's go ahead and take it back just a little. Give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and just do this real quick. Alright, so you can see we have an M5 and M15 right here. Going on some other time frames, you can see, look right under there, we have an H1. Now we do the same thing every single day, right? We just look for valid levels of supply and demand. We mark our previous session highs and lows, and look at the quality of the setups it brought us. This week we ended up doing 8% for the week in the Discord. I'll go ahead and post a screenshot right here. But notice how we have this H1 right below the M15, M5. You go to the H4, there's also an H4 right here as well. We did end up taking it, I'll go ahead and put the exact level that we took it, our stop loss and all that. And see, on the higher time frames, it honestly didn't look that good. We mainly just focused on the lower time frames. And I'm just going to go ahead and just take this H4 off because we didn't have it marked for this session anyways. But notice how Asian session kind of just consolidated right here. Then we had a pretty big drop, and you always mark the previous contra candle to the move, right? So notice that's a previous contra candle to this big move down. It took us all the way to that session low that was created in New York the previous day. Those session highs and lows don't take much time to mark. They're very easy to find, and they could definitely change your trading game for sure. But let's go ahead and fast forward. We had our entry at 119. Let me go ahead and do that. Or, you know, let's move a little forward. Now notice this right here. I was the only one in the group just due to like entering quick, right? But we ended up getting stopped out, but I told everyone re-enter. And actually no one got stopped out in the group, right? So they either didn't enter right away. A lot of people just had a bigger stop loss than I had, but we re-entered, and this is what gave us a move, right? We got in right here, and notice this. 1-to-1 was literally right where we had it, right there. Let's go to the M5 real quick just so I can show you guys, and let's move it just like this. Boom. Right there's where we entered, right? Notice how quick this happened. This is already a 1-to-1. You know what? Actually, let's go to the 1 minute. Look, 1-to-1 hit right there. Let's go even farther. Boom. 1-to-2 hit right there. Notice how quick that is. We had a very strong move off this level of supply up there. Let's keep going down. Boom, right there. You can see a 1 to 3. This thing has just been falling, and we're still in it at this point. We had multiple members go ahead and catch a trade, and we ended up getting out right here, right at a 1 to 4. And trust me, I am very happy when it comes to grabbing a 1 to 4, especially on a Friday. And this was the second 1 to 4 we got this week. On one of the other days, we ended up grabbing a 1 to 4, but we took a 1% loss before that. So the day ended up being up 3. But this was our second 1 to 4 we caught. This was actually our best week in the Discord. We ended up gaining 8% this week, like I mentioned. But you can see we ended up grabbing a 1 to 4 on this trade. And notice this thing kept on. Let's go ahead and put this here real quick, just so we know. 1 to 4. And look at this. This trade kept on going down to a 1 to 7.5. Now fast forward, look at this. Now notice this. I'm going to show you guys this as well. Let's go here, mark this. And why am I marking this? There's an M1 right here. Notice how we perfectly tapped into that M1. If you would have entered off this M1, you would have taken like no drawdown whatsoever. That M1 gave a move down, and this was a really solid move too. Respected that M1, right? And notice over here, just so I can show you guys real quick, let's delete this M1. You can see that M1 gave a move with like no drawdown. Now let's go over here so I can show you guys this. M1 as well. Look, this M1 demand, tapped into it right there, gave a move up, no drawdown whatsoever. Tapped into it again, closed right at that line, and got the move up, bounced around it right here. Notice how accurate and how respected these levels of supply and demand are being. So that was that 1 to 4 trade, right? And that's some extra tips for you guys, just showing you guys how accurate it is. Now look right here, right? The 1 to 4 is right there. Remember, we had this M1 marked out right here, and where it came tapped right there perfectly. Let's actually remark this. Where the M1, it got tapped into perfectly, right? Now let's move over here. Notice the previous contrary candle to the move down. Let's go ahead and mark that. M1. Look, you can see we had, don't mind the 1 to 4, but you can see we tapped into it, went a little above it, but still did not create a higher high. Notice how the market, lower high, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, created a lower high right here, right around that M1, got a move, and now we're at a lower low again. Let's go to the M5 anything. Notice this right here, right? You can see this right off the bat, this previous contrary candle to the move down right here, this M5, we came, tapped into that M5, got to move down again, and notice how we're just going lower and lower as the day goes on. And this ended up just being a pretty bearish day, but we ended up getting a 1 to 4. I mean, if we could have held this a lot longer, you know, we could have made a lot more money. And just notice this right here, M1, previous contrary candle to the move down. You can see we tapped into it, messed around a little, and then started the move down. These supply and demand levels have been getting respected like crazy, and it ended up giving us an 8% week. So I went ahead and just broke down the trade for today. This was the level we took from that M5, M15, H1 supply up there, gave us a 1 to 4, and I ended up showing you guys these M1 levels up here that tapped in, gave the move. Like I mentioned earlier, notice the session low that was created in New York on Thursday ended up getting tapped into Friday in London session, tapped into it perfectly, and had to move to the upside. That was the trade that ended up giving us a 1 to 4, and I went ahead and dropped some extra heat for you guys. But that's going to be the video. If you guys like these videos, make sure you leave a like, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.